Hi guys, Romans here and welcome to another music review. I review every album from a viewpoint of a musician, as I am a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group Jakobe. And last year we have released our debut album called Pursuits in Life. What makes it unique is that it's a pretty heavy prog rock without guitars. Instead you have drums, bass, saxophone and keyboards. You can check out two of our music videos on my YouTube channel. We're building our own monument and Fake the New Kind of Beauty, and also a studio live take of a Wait Till Pose. And in the description of all these videos you will find all the information about where is the record available. It's available on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp, but also in this digipack version of a CD with a very beautifully illustrated 20 pages long booklet. So in case you want one, all you need to do is contact me via an email, on Facebook, on Instagram, or you can get one through Bandcamp. And today I'm going to review the debut solo album from Richard Henshall, Cocoon.
Music review. Music review.
Richard Henshall is one of the guitar players from Cocoon, and he was also a principal songwriter on their first three albums. The other two records became slightly more collaborative. And Cocoon are one of my all-time favorite groups. I mean, Vector was my favorite album for 2018, Affinity was my favorite record for 2016. I saw them live twice. And I know that this record came out more than 2 months ago, similarly to Slipknot's newest album, which I reviewed only recently. And I was aware of this album, I'm just somehow not really that interested into band members' solo projects, but that was actually a big mistake because this album is phenomenal. Let me analyze it. As of now I've heard it almost 6 times, so I was at my 6th listen. Let's do the review. The album opens up with an intro called Pupa, where at first it's kind of ambient and then it gets into those heavy, genty riffs. And I especially love that bass tone, the courtesy of Connor Green, the bass player from Cocoon. And I mean, his combination of dark glass pedals and dingwall bass guitars, it's one of the most sought after sounds for bass. Then we have the title track Cocoon, which is over 10 minutes long, and pretty much all the singing on the album, with the exception of a few featurings, was handled by Richard himself. In terms of his vocal delivery, he kind of reminds me of Kevin Moore, who was the keyboard player on the first 3 albums from Dream Theater, and he has a project called OSI, Office of Strategic Influence, so their singing is kind of similar. I think that this album would probably benefit from having a really great singer here, but I mean, it's okay the way it is. There are nice guitar solos. I especially like the first one, which is really melodic. There is also that cool bass groove part where I think Connor was using an fully wet analog octave pedal, something similar that he did on the Affinity record, and it's just really great sound. Also, there's a saxophone solo, which is just such a nice addition to this song, and it actually kind of reminds me of my own band. And we of course have those Cocoon-like rhythms, and generally the whole album is just very much in the Cocoon style, and it kind of reminds me musically of a blend between the Mountain and Vector the third and the fifth album from Haken. And basically, if Ross was singing here, this would be a Haken track. Speaking of whom, Ross Jenkins' featuring is on a track called Twisted Shadows. This is a heavier track with those Haken-like staccato riffs. And it kind of brings Cockroach King to mind. This one features also Jordan Rudess, the keyboard player from Dream Theater. Definitely the biggest featuring here. But it also includes Ross Jenkins behind the mic, so I guess this is as much of a Haken song as it can get. Also, there's a very cool jazzy, swingy part in this song. Silken Chains has a nice ambient beginning, it's slightly more uplifting as a track, and to a certain degree it reminds me of the album Affinity in terms of the mood and vibe. Most of the keyboards were also handled by Richard, and he's a pretty accomplished piano player, and the song gets a lot more proggy in the second half. Similarly uplifting is the final track, Afterglow, which is also more laid back with those big string-like chords or whatever that is. The ending is, however, a little more tense. Limbo is just over 3 minutes long, so it's shorter, more sonic ambient piece with a really nice melody. And the final track I haven't talked about is Lunar Room, that also features the guitar player Ben Levin and the bass player Jessica Kyon from Bantney on vocals. I haven't really heard Jessica that much. I think that she probably is just like in some backing vocals, but this song is mainly about Ben, who is rapping, and all those parts where he raps are pretty much in the hip-hop territory. Get me out of here, hear me disappear, watch me sing a freedom siren, so I'm tempting my own frantic thoughts along the way. Finally beginning to come to grips with how little I've ever seen and what it means to me. What it means? Life is a picture a day, shadows on the wall of the cave. Step one. This makes for a very drastic change of tone, and it's something I'm still kind of getting used to, but the rest of the song is pretty much in sync with the rest of the album. We get some singing towards the end of the song, and it's actually really great, even though I have to confess that Ben isn't that great as a singer, which is pretty obvious here. I was really impressed with this album, and I think it shows how much of a driving force Richard Henshall really is behind Haken. If you're already a Haken fan, then this is a mandatory listen, but I think that prog metal fans in general will be blown away by this album. Have you heard this album already? You can let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with me, how much you liked this album, and how well do you think it compares to the Haken's records. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can find links to both in the description of this video below. If you like this video, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, my live performances, my worst to best series, and quite a lot of other reviews as well. Thanks a lot for watching.